Hi, my name is Mariano Garcia Burela, and for this new booktube video, I read the book, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, written by Jean-Dominique Bauby. Jean-Dominique Bauby was an editor from the French magazine Elle. He used to write sports cars, drive all around the world, and travel everywhere. One day, he drove to his ex-wife's house to visit his children. He took one of his children in a new sports car he just got on a ride all around the place. When suddenly, he had a stroke and he couldn't drive anymore, so he pulled over and started collapsing. His children went running for help to his aunt's house. The reaction that he had 20 days later, when he woke up from the coma, was that he was paralyzed from the head down. The only movement that he could continue doing was blinking from the left eyelid. Okay, his way of communicating was different. What he first started doing was that people started spelling out the French alphabet, and when the person said the letter he wanted to say to them, he blinked with his left eyelid. People said that letter again, and he confirmed, blinking once again, until he completed a word so he could say to the people and continue the phrases. Then, throughout time, he got a physical therapist and a speech therapist. The speech therapist was called. His work was helping Jean-Dominique, trying to move his tongue and trying to make him spell words, making noises, and try to say phrases so he could communicate with the others and stop the use of blinking. Then, the use of his physical therapist was helping him, trying to move some muscles in his body, maybe his legs, arms, fingers, anything that could help them, even the tongue. Throughout the book, very different things happen. First, a mother of his children comes to visit him with his children to a day at the beach, so Jean-Dominique can see his children once more. He feels sad about this and feels that he's not his hero anymore. He feels this because him as a parent can do nothing now. He can only blink, and he thinks that that's not what their children want. His children want him back to normal, and he wants to do everything to get everything together again. So he first feels sad about what's happening because his children give him hugs, kisses, tell him enormous things that make him feel happy. But the only thing that he can give back to them is blinking. But in other parts of the book, his current lover comes to visit him, and the same thing happens. He can do nothing. He cannot show his love to her, or nothing can influence this love relationship. But the things that Jean-Dominique has to pass through are gigantically problematic. First, he cannot do nothing by himself. He cannot eat, walk, talk, nothing. Not even take a bath for himself. People have to scrub him and do things for him. So this is not the way that he wants to live. The parts I like from this book were quite a lot, even though it's not such a happy book. I like the idea that even though he's in these conditions of not being able to move, talk, or nothing, he wrote a book to express how he felt and to let the people know the true meaning of what life is. He shows everything that he had to go through and fight day by day, and he just never gave up. He did everything he could to make his children, wife, and everyone around him happy. And the idea of him expressing everything he has and will always have in the book shows a quite enormous amount of happiness, and like it's just amazing how he can do things without help from others, and the way that he communicates his thought to his children and people around him. This shows that he's a person who will stand up for everything he's got. But in the parts of what I didn't like from the book are quite a lot also. First, I don't like the idea of him giving every specific detail of all the bad things that he had to go through, like taking showers like every day without being able to move, seeing his children and suffering because he felt happy with them, but he couldn't show his love or any appreciation that he had for them because he couldn't do nothing. And these simple thoughts and ideas make the story, instead of showing like growth in this person, like emotional growth in this person, it shows you like how he feels and becomes like smaller in some way because he cannot show everything he can to the people. So the idea of him fighting to get everything he tries to get is that the situations he has to go through are like not quite happy. So everything he faces, in somehow it's gonna be bad, and it won't help him or benefit him. The idea that I think that this book is showing us is that it's trying to motivate us. It's showing us that even though you're paralyzed just like Jean Dominique, you can do gigantic things. Like first, he wrote a book, he showed his love to his children, he started talking again, he did an enormous amount of things that no one thought he could ever do again. So this hope that he had and faith for himself took him to a higher place, and he showed everything he needed to give to the world. But then, the last thing that I want to say about this is that the title of the book is The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. And what the butterfly might represent somehow is that he sometimes just wanted to set himself free and fly away. He just wanted to show everything he's got and show us how he could do things that no one thought he could do before. And last but not least, the passage that could help us with this is et ses maisons rouillées, la mer